will start, given the schedule, with Professor Roger Moon. He's a professor of economics at USC, and he's going to present his work estimating the impact of new rail transit investment in metropolitan cities on housing prices.
All right.
And you have around 15 minutes.
So, hi, everyone. This is Roger Moon from Economics Department. I got this award actually more than four years ago. I was supposed to present this work earlier, but somehow my November schedule conflict with this symposium schedule. So I'm very happy to show my work to you and have some chance to get some feedback. So this is joint work with former Ph.D. student at the Econ Department, Sung-Woo Chin, who is at the Ministry of Economy and Finance in Korea, and also my colleague, Matt Kahn. Matt is coming back to USC next year. So happy to have Matt back. So today I'm going to talk about this, how much the real estate market is affected by the construction of the new metro line in Seoul, Korea. And methodologically, we analyze this question using so-called the machine learning approach. So when we wrote this paper, when we started this project about 5 years ago, the machine learning approach that we used in this paper was pretty new in economics applications. However, since then, this, as we all know, the explosion of this machine learning approach make our methodology very much outdated. So please understand this. So again, the question that we ask is not new. It has been studied by many papers. So the question that we ask here is, we investigate how the real estate market in Seoul has been affected by the construction of a major new subway line. Particularly, we consider heterogeneity in the treatment effect. So there are lots of existing studies, and these existing studies have some different the findings. So there are some positive effects reported by the research. This positive effect is due to lower commute times, potential stimulation of a new amenities. But there are some other studies that report negative effects, mainly due to some criminal activities and so on. And some studies actually report the heterogeneous effect, depending on some various aspects of the environment. It could be a specific transit technology or housing types and transit accessibility. What we do in this paper is, again, we try to estimate the causal effects of new transit access. And so our methodology builds on the existing the hedonic studies. The hedonic studies means this is the model for pricing based on the characteristics of the commodities. So here the housing price model, the housing price is priced as a function of the characteristics of the housing. That's the hedonic model. And our methodological contribution is to introduce the machine learning the method to consider because the housing characteristics that we consider in our hedonic model is high dimensional. So there are lots of variables that define the housing characteristics. So to deal with high dimensional the characteristics in estimating the heterogeneous treatment effect, we use this machine learning methodology. Particularly, we slightly extended the Sujanese and Widow Imbens the machine learning methodology developed for the average treatment effect to a DID setup. So their methodology is basically their machine learning method basically use the regression tree method. But again, since and for last several years, we have seen lots of the developments of the new machine learning methods in econometrics applications. And if we want to extend this paper, then we can use more updated machine learning methodology. So our finding is that there is considerable variation in the conditional average human effect across the apartment types. I'm going to talk about this later. And also, as a validation test of our estimates, we studied whether the developers of new apartments and building units with the features that our machine learning estimate yields as the highest marginal revenue. So the idea is that if the treatment effect of the metro new railroad transit is heterogeneous across different apartment types, so as a general equilibrium the perspective, you may anticipate that these real estate developers may invest in more towards this the more favorable the types, and we want to we verify this this feedback effect in this study. So here is some pictures of some the apartments that we studied in Seoul, the capital city of South Korea. So as you see here, the apartments are high-rise apartments. And the typical apartments consist of the complex. Complex is the collection of the several apartment units. And the main advantage of using this Seoul apartments, the data is that these units, the apartments, each room here, each house here, in these big units, homogeneous. So they have the same type of the apartment. And because of this some big complex, you see almost every month, you see some transaction of this housing. So so this is some the interior map of a typical the apartment units. And in the subway, the first subway line was built in 1974, and over the last 4 decades, the subway system has expanded to cover the 8 lines and cover the most area of Seoul and the suburb of Seoul. And this expansion has contributed to increase in the subway and the rail utilization rates to the 34% in 2002 to 36.2% in 2010. And the last subway expansion plan is the introduction of 9. And this is the some Seoul metro line before line 9. So as you see here, there are 8 lines, and it covers the entire city and the suburb outside of the city area. And the subway 9 line, the plan was announced in 2000, and then the service started from 2009 third quarter, and I think we are using data up to 2012, so 3 years later. So this is line number 9, and line number 9 covers this area in Seoul. So this middle. So this middle area is Han River. So the Seoul is divided by the north of river and the south of river. In the south of river, this area is the central business district like Gangnam. And this area is more residential area. And there's an airport, not the Incheon airport, but there's a inner city airport here. So this 9th line, and also this area is the finance sector, and also there's the Congress is located in this area. So this 9th line connects this heavily residential area and the financial district, and also the central business district and residential area in Gangnam. So this is 9th line. And As of 2014, the almost 40% of trips in Seoul use the subways or railroad, compared to some cars 22%, buses 27%, and taxi is 6%. So the public transportation is very well developed in Korea. And in the literature, these reports consider two different types of the demand of housing. So the positive demand of the supply of housing due to gentrification, or there's you can think of a negative demand due to the railroad transit, because if the railroad is fast, then you can think of the decentralization. And also, we computed the impact of the new metro line in terms of the travel time reduction. Later, I'm going to show the table. And you can also think of the capitalization effect before the service, right after the announcement. We can also discuss this issue too. So there are some issues about the demand and supply housing with respect to the transit development. So this is the reduction in time travel. I don't know whether you can see this picture. So what we did was, so from each apartment units, we computed the travel time to this important 20 destinations in Seoul, assuming that travelers walk to their closest subway station and take a subway within walking speed 4 kilometers an hour, subway running at 50 kilometers per hour. So we computed this travel time. And as you see here, you see some various the travel time, the reduction. The area that 9 line directly passes, you see a big reduction. For example, Gangnam, and so Yeouido is the center, is the finance center area, and you see a big the reduction. And also there is an airport. Yes, a Gimpo Airport, inner city airport. But other areas far from the away from this direct metro number 9 the station, you see some reduction too. So we try a few different hedonic pricing estimation. The first regression is the conventional, the OLS regression that regress the price on the distance to the subway 9, the closest station, before and after, controlling the characteristics of the apartments and the districts. And the second regression is that we group this distance into close distance, mid distance, and far distance, 3. So this group is defined by within 1 kilometer, between 1 and 2 kilometers, and beyond. And the third one is the machine learning based DID estimation. So as you all know, the non-parametric DID estimation, this is a conditioning on the characteristics X, is defined by these 2 double differences, before and after, and treatment and untreatment. So here, treatment means the apartment unit is within 1 kilometer of the metro line, subway station, and the control group is outside of the 1 kilometer. And we try some few different the threshold for the treatment and the control. But the conditioning variable X, again, is dimension high. It has a high dimension. So because we have some many different characteristics, and we also consider the interaction of these characteristics. So you can imagine it's going to be easily some high dimensional characteristics. So we apply this for the dimension reduction. We apply this regression tree method developed by Susan Acey and Imbens, but we have to modify their procedure to fit in this DID. This AC and impedance approach is just for the average treatment effect setup.
Roger?
Yep.
You have 5 minutes.
Yep. So the apartment data, we got this apartment data from the Ministry of Strategy and Finance in South Korea, and we got this geographical information data from Seoul Metropolitan government, ArcGIS. We use also ArcGIS to measure the distance. We got this rails and restaurant data from Seoul Metropolitan government. And this is the distribution of the apartments in the area that we are interested in. Average statistics. And in DID analysis, one of the important condition is so-called the common trend assumption. Common trend assumption is that before the treatment period, the control group's trend and the treatment group's trend should be identical. This is the fundamental identification assumption. To check this, we plot this the average the apartment price before the service, and this is the treatment group, and this is control group. You see this price moves quite parallel. And when you change this treatment group to the closer, say less than 500 meters, you see these similar patterns. So common trend assumption seems to be satisfied. And this is the OLS result. When you just use the log price on the distance, and you see the some significant difference after the service. When you the group the distance within 1 kilometer, you see the significance. And this is a bunch of different heterogeneous effect when you interact with some characteristics. Not all the characteristics matters in this regression, but some, for example, size matters, and the age of the apartment matters. When you run this regression tree method, in our application, we find many leaves. So and each and then we plot the densities of the conditional average treatment effect over different the leaves, and you see quite a variation of the average treatment effect. So what we found here is that we categorize these 200 different leaves that we found in this machine learning method and categorize, try to find the characteristics of the top 10% of the treatment effect, top 25% of the treatment effect, bottom 10%, bottom 25%. So what you see here is that in the bottom average treatment effect, there are more small size apartment compared to the top. And then the bottom, there are more old the apartments than the top. So there are more old apartments than top. And the district, it varies. But what we found is that more small apartments in the bottom group of the treatment effect, most apartments in the low conditional average treatment group has another transit station within 1 kilometer. So this is important economic finding. The reason is there exists already the metro subway station nearby, so that the construction of another nearby doesn't affect much. So this is our finding from this the machine learning method. So let me. So now so then if the developed supply side is irrational, then what you anticipate is that once you find out this heterogeneous average treatment effect, that you anticipate that there will be more developments of the types of the apartment that has a higher average treatment effect due to this railroad, the construction. So what you see here is this is empirical distribution of the new construction as a function of the average treatment effect. So before 2002, So this is this is average Truman effect, and if you look at the supply side, it's not exactly symmetric, but except for this one bar, you see some pretty balanced symmetric supply of the apartments. But after the 2009, after you find out this average Truman effect, heterogeneous average Truman effect, you see that the supply of the housing apartments is concentrates more on the positive types of the apartment. So this graph shows some evidence that the developers are also rational, and suggestive mechanism. So then, why this apartments the price is affected by the new railroad change? So to find this out, in this simple regression, we consider two potential factors that affects this. That could be a factor, explanatory factors. One is the reduction of travel time. The other one is the new consumer city, retail and restaurants near new train station. So this is the regression without the characteristics. And this is the regression by controlling So what we do is that we regress different regressions of the price on the distance, so Truman effect regression, without these characteristics and with these characteristics. For example, if you see, compare this and this. So when you missed out this, you see this, you find the Truman effect here. However, if you control this travel time and the so-called the measure of the new consumer city, then this Truman effect disappears, mainly because this factor explains this Truman effect. And also, we also regress the plots this short-term the conditional average Truman effect and long-run conditional average Truman effect. And as you see here, the short-run average Truman effect disappears as the time that passes, which means there is a supply side kicks in, so that this average Truman effect naturally disappears.
Roger, you have to conclude now.
Yeah. Okay, so in this paper, using machine learning methodology, we analyze how much this urban transit infrastructure affects the housing price. And we also explored how developers of the new housing responds to the shifting of the pricing gradient. And we find that both commuting time reductions to desirable locations and the opening of the new stores and restaurants close to new stations contribute to the price premium. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Roger. Now we have time for a couple of questions. I think, Jean, you had a question?
Yes, I think given the setup, Roger more or less answered it. But I have two other questions. I guess maybe one question / one suggestion. How sensitive are the results to various parameterizations of the regression tree method? Have you guys explored that?
Honestly, we just follow this APN imbalance setup. So there, the algorithm is try to make this procedure to be pretty much data dependent. So I don't think we tried some different the choices of the regularization, the parameters, but we just follow their algorithm. So I don't know the answer. Sorry about it. Yeah.
No worries. Yeah, I was just wondering because, depending on the tree depth and other things, I'm guessing results might differ statistically. And then my other suggestion would be to perhaps get errors on the average treatment effects using the regression trees, because I didn't see any, at least. Would you guys try bootstrapping to get errors on the?
Yeah. So we just follow their so here so sorry, this one yeah, I think so this is the machine learning algorithm here. I guess we use this the bootstrap methodology for the standard error.
I see.
Yeah.
Thank you.